What is going on, everybody? Non here, and happy Friday night. I did not have a chance to make a video last night. It was my birthday. Was out with family, but we're gonna hit it tonight. So we're getting close to the end of summer. It is now the 8th of August. We have about 2 to 3 weeks, depending on where you live, before people start to go back to school, whether it's middle school, high school, or college. So I want to walk through um, kind of the sheet here and continue to track what's going on with the volume and the pricing, etc. And quite honestly, last time we did this was July 25th. There's some pockets of things moving, but there's also a lot of things that are just kind of not. And the one thing I do want to point out here is if we look at the week of May 25th, and this is a trailing 30 days from TCG Player, we had 91 sales. And if we look at this does not factor in Destined Rivals. This obviously skews the numbers. We're at 34 now. So the volume has dried up significantly. 34 is the lowest sell-through that we've had in a while. So nothing to really be alarmed at. But if we get into September 7th, September 14th, and things continue to be slow, it might be cause to at least start to pay attention. Now, obviously, at that point, you're going to have Mega Evolutions pre-release and everything going crazy there. But it all remains to be seen. So SV base sell-through remains the same, still holding strong at 225. So for the longest time, this set would be 190, then it would push up to 205, then it'd go back to 2, then a bunch of product would come into the market and chase it down to 190. The fact that it's been at 225 for about a month now, I personally think is a really good sign. And as I've mentioned umpteen times, SV1 through SV 4.5 Paldea Fates all go out of print in April of 2026. And one thing that came up in the Discord this week was people were asking about 151 and why do I personally not think it's going to go out of print in September? Why is now the time to continue to accumulate position, but also be a little bit cautious? It's really because if you look at Crown Zenith, and we literally just lived this 5-6 months ago. So Crown Zenith was I believe it was a December January set of 2023. It rotated out in April of 2025. So we saw February, March of this year, Sea and Sky continue to dump into Sam's Club. And then all of a sudden, come April, it disappeared, and we haven't seen anything since. Now, you'll see a one-off Target sale of some ETBs or some tins, but for all intents and purposes, there hasn't been new product coming onto the market. So my response was simply the 2-year period isn't really relevant. It's when the set rotates out of organized play that appears to be the driving factor, and it's been this way for quite a long time. So, I'm anticipating with 151, a reprint of booster bundles coming up because we saw them at Walmart. We've seen them at Target. Those MJ Holdings and Excel are generally the first groups that get reprints. I've always been expecting a reprint here at the end of summer, end of August into middle of September, quite honestly, when reprints tend to ship with new product. So the timeline makes a lot of sense with Mega Evolutions, and we're due for one. We got poster collections back in May. We got bundles back in January, February. So we're due for another one, and I think we're going to get this one. We're probably going to get one into the holidays. And look, we may get some more in February, March of 2026. I would put nothing past 151 just getting pumped and pumped and pumped out until we hit that April 2026 timeframe. So that being said, Paldea evolved. The 340 took a little bit of step backwards because there was a misleading thumbnail with one of the notification groups that said Paldea evolved, reprint confirmed. There were some sleeve boosters that came out to big box stores, and they're all gone now. But the thumbnail was clearly AI generated. It had booster boxes and ETBs, and it was the most misleading thing ever. But it did cause the market to dump a little bit. It's now starting to return at 350. Really nothing to see here as far as I'm concerned. Obsidian Flames. This has been, it was as high as 250 a couple months ago. It's been slowly falling off, as low as 230 the end of July, and we are now back to 250. Now, three of these selling a day, which the sell through for this one has been fairly weak, but there's not a whole lot of it on the market. So we're seeing an upswing. Paradox at 210, nothing to talk about here. Temporal taking a little bit of a step backwards. It looked like it was going to 250, 275, and I think I said that this is probably the next set that's going to push to 250, 275. Looks like it's taken a little bit of a breather here. The sell-through's way down, down about $13 in the last 3 weeks. Twilight Masquerade, 294. Looks like we're going to cross $300 relatively soon. We have a lot of packs out there for Twilight Masquerade and Temporal Forces from the Mask of Ogerpon 10-pack EX box, which I've said this multiple times. That is their new methodology of reprinting, because you have 10 packs. You have 5 packs of one set, 5 packs of another set, and you have multiple different variations. The reason why it's important is if you look at the MSRP, and the reason I say that is I'm baselining the price per pack. That is it. If you look at the expected retail price, it comes out to about a 40% higher price per pack than what booster bundles would be. You also have a much larger package that is effectively a small advertising billboard on a shelf. So it's everything Pokemon wants for the brand. It's everything they're trying to do with reprinting and getting packs out there. So that's what they're doing. The Massive Ogerpon includes 5 Temporal Forces, 5 Twilight Masquerade. There's the Venusaur one that just came out, which I believe has 5 Twilight and 5 Stellar Crown. There is the Salamence and Reshiram EX box that just went through distribution that comes out. I believe it's in October. I'm not certain. It could be September. That has 5 Destin and 5 Surging Sparks, which looks awesome. And then we have a couple other items coming out that are to be determined. But the interesting thing is it looks like there's a metric ton of these coming out. So I've talked to a couple different distributors who have gotten somewhere between 15,000 and 20,000 of each one of these in their inventory. So it is a pretty sizable amount. Now, I think the most telling thing, well, there's 2 very important telling things here. Is the first of which is we're not getting reprints of ETBs. We're not getting reprints of booster boxes. So it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Now we've seen some Surging Sparks, obviously a couple reprints now. We've seen the second wave of Destined Rivals. We have not seen a reprint. My guess is we'll probably get another wave with the release and the shipping of Mega Evolutions 1. But most importantly is we're not getting these 10-pack EX boxes with SV Base, Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames, or Paradox Rift, at least as of yet, which gives me increased confidence that we're not going to see dumps of those products coming into the market. But again, it's only August 8th, so we have a lot of time to go. So it remains to be seen. Moving to Stellar Crown continues to creep up. 230 is a new all-time high of $5. Surging Sparks is down $6. I think there's a little bit of fatigue here. The sell-through has dried up quite a bit. It's 7 per day right now. Cheering together. So important to note, the 240 is the average of the enhanced and the non-enhanced. The non-enhanced is like $260. I don't know why anybody's buying it other than the fact that A, I think it's a cooler looking box, and B, there's less of it. But the enhanced version's at $220. It was all the way down at $200. So I just took the average of these, selling through 8 a day. So even at $220 on the enhanced booster box, I mean, it's the second cheapest box next to Paradox Rift. Paradox Rift is a better set. It just is. But it just goes to show you what the resilience of the Pokemon market is right now. Because even as the sell-through rate slows in the middle, I guess, middle-ish to end of the summer here, there's nobody dumping product. And even if they are, it's just getting gobbled up and it's evaporating. Tests and Rivals, look, it's back under $300. All the MSRP Timmies are winning. It's getting closer to MSRP. $2.98. It's actually up $3 from a couple weeks ago. 21 of these selling. What's crazy with these boxes is even at a $300 price point, there's a lot of them selling, and there's so many dollars. And at some point, the sell through on these sets is going to be directly impacted by the price per box. So, 21 of the, or call it 89 of these per day is not the same as 89 of Surging Sparks at release when the boxes were $150. What's interesting is I don't know how many products, how many boxes, cases, how much product is sitting on shelves and warehouses somewhere, because there's certainly nowhere near as much Destin that's sold as Surging Sparks. Now, it's obviously, hasn't had the number of reprints, but it's going to be interesting at some point to see, does the sell-through continue? At what point does the $300 price point just become super, super prohibitive of people buying it? So we'll see. Mega Evolutions 238. I saw an idiotic video today saying it's already started to sell off. So if any of you guys pay any attention to the pre-release cycle, the boxes come out and they get listed. We've seen it for Journey, for Destined, and now Mega Evolutions. They get listed like $270, $280, and there's a shock factor. And then between 4 and 8 weeks from release, the price gets dropped down to effectively $238. And then as we get to a week before pre-release, which is going to be the, call it September 5th through the 10th, all of a sudden the price is going to go back up to $260 and probably sit between $250 and $260 at release. And I don't want to say it's coordinated, but I've seen this movie so many times with Pokemon, and quite honestly, it happens with Magic as well. Because if you're pre-selling, you have to pre-qualify for it, and you have to have, I think it was 300 sales in the last 90 days. You have to be brick and mortar. You have to be better than 99.5% feedback. So it's only the big stores that are pre-selling sealed product. And, I don't want to say they talk, but they all know the game. They all know what's going on. Because people early on who want to get in, they'll pay whatever price. Doesn't really matter. From 4 to 8 weeks, you need to drop the price because everybody who's already paid for it has gotten it. And then, as we go into release, now all of a sudden it's on everybody's radar, and they start to get the itch where it's, I can open this in 2 or 3 weeks, so now I'm going to buy it. So that's kind of my read on the psychology there. So going to the specialty sets, 151 at $306 per ETB. Absolutely insane. Paldea Fates at 212. Both of these are up, again, all-time highs. Shrouded's really slowed down. There was a point where these were selling through quite a bit, down to 3 sales per day, down at $70 per. This price is still way too low. I do want to note that the Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs are now over $100 for the first time with these, which is probably where they should be. They should probably be closer to 120, 125, and quite honestly, these should probably be at $85 for a specialty set. But hey, this is as close to MSRP as you want, so eat up, boys. Get while the getting's good. Prismatic Evolutions at 105. The fact that this is as resilient as it is, with all of the dumps of product, it's remarkable. The average, I believe the value of the cards in the set is still $4,500 now. It's 60% of what it was a month after release. So the intended price degradation has happened for the singles, but these still remain strong. The most shocking thing to me in going through this is black ETBs, the lowest list is 90, and for white it's 85. So these are holding up extremely strong. And I know the stupid, insane Toad Arts in black that's selling for $200 and some, that there's no way it's going to stay there, which is inflating black a little bit. But I've been shocked that the Zekrom, Reshiram, and then the Victini single art, or whatever they are, black and white art or whatever, cards have held so much value. I mean, they're all still sitting right around $350, $400. And what's crazy is that the SARs, I believe, are both under 200. So these are holding value, and they're holding up really strong. And, I think when I went through my When I went through my analysis video of trying to handicap where the price is, I was a little bit lower than this. I was like $75 to $85. So these have been surprisingly strong. And quite honestly, the average sales volume is up since 7/25. Now, granted, this is includes 3.5 weeks before release, but 81, 82 ETBs a day, it's pretty damn good. I mean, you look at Prismatic Evolutions, this is May. Obviously, this is 4 months after release, but still, to have two sets and combined, you're at 163. It's pretty damn strong. So anyway, guys, just wanted to walk through this because we haven't looked at it in a while. And I wanted this data point for early August because I'll do this again probably around the 20th to see if there's a little bit of an uptick as people start to go back to school and people start to refocus. But it's going to be super interesting to see how quickly we get back to sell-through rates of, kind of pre-summer levels. So anyway, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, and have a great night.